So last chunk, we'll roll it out again. I'll show you this while my hands were clean. So that's what we're looking at so far. So I would say they look pretty good. They're maybe slightly chunky, but I think they look pretty good. So they do look quite cool, because it's not really something, unless you are German, and I think it is a southern German thing, it's not really something that you would see here. Like it doesn't really remind me of any other kind of pasta. With the shape, obviously, like the concept of it's quite similar to gnocchi, but the shape's quite unusual. And then once they're cooked and you fry them in the butter, they go nice and brown and crispy, and they look gorgeous. So that's what we're aiming for. We'll just get a little roll, and we'll just start kind of chopping them up again. Every time I do it, I make them far too big, but try and get them a bit smaller this time. And then we'll just roll up these ones as well, and by then the water should be boiled, and then we just want to add a little bit of lightly boiling salted water. So just a little bit of salt to the pot, and let it lightly boil, and then we'll drop all of these in and let them rise to the top. I just hope they don't stick together. Maybe that's what the extra flour was for. Oh well, I'll know for next time. Nearly there. And then when we go to fry these in the pan, I'll then add the sauerkraut in and just lightly fry that as well, and just get some of the flavours of that out. And then once that's ready and we've got a nice colour on the wee dumplings, I think I'll just serve it up in bowls, and then sort of crumble some of our fake bacon over the top, because I'm not quite sure how the fake bacon would work if you were to add it to frying with the other things. It might kind of break up quite a lot, so I'm just going to kind of sprinkle over the top, I think. Well, that's a lot of dumplings. Yes, that's quite a lot of dumplings. But I think because they're quite light, so you can, I mean, it looks like a lot, but I think you could probably eat more than you would expect, because they're light and they are tasty. I think you found a new bacon bits recipe. I think so. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll maybe use some of it for this today, and then get a jar and kind of crumble some of them up and just keep them and see how they go, because I think it would be quite nice to have that again, because it's nice, even instead of like using salt or parmesan or something, if it's on like pasta, or I mean you could even put it on risotto, something like that, or just a sprinkle on like a sandwich. If you get a cheese sandwich, you could put some, or like we said before, a BLT. It would just be quite nice to have, and then you don't have to, each time you want something like that, you don't have to go and make them. So I think I'm going to try that and see how they keep, and see if I need to keep them, because I would assume I would keep them just in the cupboard. I don't think they would need to be kept in the fridge or anything. That's a lot of dumplings we've got now. I don't know if you can see the plate in the other camera, but that's a lot of dumplings. But that'll keep me going. And then so I'll just fry up a load of these, and then if you're going to reheat them, I would just put them, anytime you want them, just get another portion out and put them back in the frying pan, just for maybe 5 minutes, just to heat them up again. Right, so that's all our dumplings made. Now our next step is to, we'll boil them up. I think this is my favourite part, because I just love watching how they all start floating back to the top again. It's quite sad, but it's the little things. Okay, we're going to need another one that's not enough water. anyone, just a little tip here, if anyone is ever looking for a new kettle, do not buy one like this. It looks really nice, and I do really like the look of it, but as soon as you boil it, the lid is metal. Well, it's like, well, it's kind of plasticky metal. So as soon as you boil it, that gets so hot, and then if you need to boil it straight away again, you lift that up and you burn your fingers with the lid. So it's absolutely ridiculous. It makes no sense at all. So if you're buying a kettle, don't buy one like that. Just an FYI. Right, I'm going to make a bit, tidy this up a wee bit. Where's my cloth go? Where did I put my cloth? I've gone like that and completely agree when the steam burns your hand. Exactly. It's so impractical. Like I don't know who created that and thought, oh, that's a good idea. Because it just, no matter what you do with it, it burns you. Clear this up a wee bit, make a bit of space. Then I can show you. So this is the plate of dumplings that we have now. So that's quite a lot of dumplings. That's going to do us a while, but you're better to have too much than too little. That's what I always say. Pop this on and let this simmer away, and then amazing, hopefully. Fingers crossed it'll taste good. So leave that in a minute. Finished with this. Bowl. Just grabbed a bowl and a slotted spoon, because you'll want a slotted spoon for taking them out of the pot, because obviously you don't want any of the water to come with it. You just want the little dumplings. So that's lightly simmering, and I'll put a little bit of salt in the other boiled kettle. Again, you don't want too much salt, because you've already salted the water when you made the potatoes, and then we put a little bit of salt in with the flour and the nutmeg. So just a little bit of salt in here, because otherwise they'll be so salty, and then with the bacon and the sauerkraut, it'll be a bit much. So just a tiny bit. And then I'll get my pan ready, so that once they come out, we can put them straight in the pan and fry them up. I think we're nearly there. I'm excited. I can't see, this is what I like about, if you've got a recipe that you've not tried before, this is a bit that I like, when it seems like it's starting to come together and you're getting to the end and you're excited about eating it. Or is that just me? Am I just too food obsessed? Is that not normal? I'm not quite sure. Right, I've got quite a lot of water in the pot now, because there's quite a lot of dumplings. And it's to be lightly boiling. So I'm just going to turn the heat up a little bit, because I'm still getting to coming to terms with these little the little hobs, and they can be quite temperamental. They seem to be either far too hot or far too cold. So I'm just kind of playing about with them to get them to the right temperature. And then we're going to drop all of the dumplings into the water. It doesn't say how long, it does just say until they float to the top, which I think with like gnocchi and stuff, it normally doesn't take that long, so I would say maybe a couple of minutes. And I might do them in a couple of batches, because to put all of them in at one time, it might be a bit of a mess. Right, so lightly boiling. It's boiling at the bottom, but it's not boiling at the top. You can tell I'm getting impatient now. My tummy's like, I'm so hungry.